Hang it up, hang it up. I'm not being biased. If I'm 100, if Tank got his ass whooped, I'm gonna say, you know what? He got his ass whooped.
You know, that Tank is older. He had the lessons, getting his lessons of what he got to do. Take us the rest of the way.
This former world champion boxer is accusing Gervonta Davis of ruining the sport.
Floyd Mayweather has disclosed the reason behind Gervonta Davis's demise, stating that Tank's most recent bout with Lamont Roach amply demonstrates that he has lost his charm and the will to become one of the world's top boxers.
His ass whooped. Easy fight from what I see. And did the guy come out of the I say it probably was 4 rounds the guy could have he could have got, but 8 rounds he's getting outboxed. Turn. The name of the game is boxing. The name of the game is not slugging, because when the fight game is over, when boxing is all over, and you hang it up like me.
Tank, in the meantime, in an interview, Davis publicly stated that he believes Floyd Mayweather never wanted any fighter to be better than him. This sentiment reflects Davis's view of Mayweather's attitude towards possible successors in the boxing world. The dynamics between a mentor and protege can be complicated, particularly when the protege's success starts to rival that of the mentor. According to Davis' remark, ATT tension stems from rivalry and the desire to preserve legacy.
First of all, Floyd don't never want to see no one like a fighter do better than them. Why the say Terrence Crawford should fight Benavidez? That don't make no fucking sense. He don't never want to see nobody be better than him. I'm telling you.
Who's next in line? Is there like a the last question, guys? Is there like a love-hate for like fighter?
Yeah, I love the fighter. Like, I ain't gonna lie, if he was like chill, like he'll be the smoothest. But he's not. You know what I mean? He's a great fighter. And my bad. And
you're good, man.
And he because I don't want to say like he's just a scumbag, but it's like he's a great fighter, and sometimes he can be good, but it's like it's always I'm this.
Claiming that Tank has destroyed boxing, Malley's remarks reveal a larger conversation about boxing's current status and the impact of modern competitors on the sport. These criticisms are frequently motivated by worries about boxing's commercialization and apparent departure from its traditional values. Malley's viewpoint contributes to the continuing discussion over the future of contemporary boxing.
This former world champion boxer is accusing Gervonta Davis of ruining the sport. What do you guys think? And who do you think the former world champion is? It's none other than Paulie Malignaggi, or I don't know how to say his name, honestly. I just know that he had that whole thing with Conor McGregor, and then he couldn't even beat Artem Lobov in bare knuckle boxing. So take his words with a grain of salt. But obviously, I do agree with him to some extent. Gervonta Davis has all the skills in the world, but he's not taking the most competitive fights, you know? Lamont Roach, if he had made 4 or 5 defenses at 135, you'd be selling me a little bit. I'd be curious. But no, you're just recycling the same champion. You're not even progressing. You're killing the sport to line your pockets. I defend the sport. I want the best matchups possible. You're not going to entertain me with the B-level matchups just because they're pay-per-views, which makes a lot of sense. You know what I mean? I'm not paying for it. You know, I'm going to stream it like I would think most people are. But yeah, Gervonta Davis, I wouldn't say he's ruining the sport. I think Floyd Mayweather ruined the sport, because every boxer after him just wants to get the easiest fight with the most amount of money.
According to experts, Floyd Mayweather was envious of Tank Davis. This accusation suggests that their relationship may have been strained and that Mayweather's competitive mentality may have permeated his mentoring role outside of the ring. Mentors' jealousy conflicts can arise in protege relationships, particularly when the mentor's legacy is threatened by the protege's growing popularity.
You actually need to be thankful that your product got pushed out there, because had it not been, Tank might have been fighting in rinky-dink boxing clubs, bruh. We may have never got the opportunity to know who Tank Davis really was. So let's go ahead and start there. Now, Tank, early on, you heard him. He only getting about 10 racks a fight. Floyd is making it to where, yeah, I'm going to get your mama out this hood, but I'm going to have you on your knees crawling back to me. You feel me? You're going to have to get in where you fit in to really earn this bag the same way I did. But what I think was happening was, I think that Floyd Mayweather Jr. was getting a little tad bit jealous of Tank, He saw the potential. He knew what dude was capable of. And when you got a fighter like Tank Davis, you don't put him in a position to take a L. You put him in a position to win every fight, to grow the brand. Ultimately, this is your product. Ultimately, you're getting money off of this.
Many fans were disappointed and questioned Gervonta Davis' boxing skills after her fight with Roach. An observer pointed out that Davis was seriously challenged by a relatively unknown boxer named Roach, raising questions about Davis' level of talent and readiness. This unexpected performance discussions over Davis' training focus and chances for the future have been triggered by Gap, and both sports fans and pundits are now reassessing their expectations for Davis' professional path.
So Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach goes to a majority decision draw, with Tank retaining his WBA lightweight title. Now, I did not score this fight a draw. I had it 7-5 to Lamont Roach. I thought he had the ring generalship and effective pressure. He was landing the jab and effective combinations. Tank, as usual, had a very low output, and he was relying on one big shot. I gave Roach the first 3 rounds, Tank the next 3 rounds, and then Roach 4 the last 6 rounds to win the fight. Not to mention, Tank did take a knee in the middle of the fight. By rule, that should have been considered a knockdown. Yes, it was to get his mouthpiece, and that's why they didn't rule it a knockdown. But anytime a fighter takes a knee, that's a knockdown. And that would have given Roach 1 more point to win the fight. Now, I'm sure they'll run it back. Lamont Roach absolutely deserves a rematch. He just had the fight of his life. He wasn't scared to go toe-to-toe with Tank. Landing his combinations, the bigger counters, and the more effective shots. He definitely deserves a second payday. Now, in the co-main event, Gary Antoine Russell put on an amazing performance. I think he won 11 or 12 rounds against Raio Valenzuela. Great hand speed, good combinations, masterclass to win the WBA title. And then in the featured bout, Alberto Puello beat Sandor Martin to retain his WBC title. He landed the cleaner left hands, definitely won the last 2 to 3 rounds to edge the fight. But overall, good card. I do think Roach won the fight though.
The boxing community has noticed a double standard when it comes to career decisions. Floyd Mayweather's decision to leave Bob Arum's promotion was accepted, but Gervonta Davis' attempt to do the same was branded as disrespectful. This disparity underscores the difficulties fighters encounter when deciding on their career paths. The varying responses imply that a fighter's position and the stories that are created around their decisions have an impact on how the industry views them.
When Floyd left Bob Arum, it's good for them to do it and become their own boss. And then if another guy does it, it's not good for the sport. He's disloyal. And what's wrong with Tank saying he want to be his own boss? And honestly, I've been there. The relationship between them two is very toxic. It's a toxic relationship. It's up and down and up and down. And I'm not going to elaborate to everything that I know, but it's a very toxic relationship. And that's why when I tweet stuff, I don't tweet often, but when I tweet, I may fire off 50 tweets in the day. And that's why when I tweeted certain things about the relationship, Tank retweeted it because he knows. Like, I'm not just going to say what it is. It's a very toxic relationship. It's back and forth. And I think it will serve him best to go and be his own boss.
According to Adrian Broner, Gervonta Davis confided in him about his displeasure with the support he received. Bronner said he was unable to share specifics until Davis decided to speak out, but this revelation suggests that Davis may have felt uneasy about certain aspects of his career from the beginning. These negative emotions can affect a fighter's performance and mental health, highlighting how crucial a supporting atmosphere is in professional sports.
No, I haven't talked to him about it, but we talked about it before. We talked about it a few times, but now that he is doing his own thing, I hope the best for him, I hope he is big as the world. I don't care, I just want to do good.
He keeps alluding that there was something wrong there, that he wasn't happy with the support that he was getting. Is there something there from what he's saying, from what your relationship with him?
That's not really for me to come out and talk about. I'll wait until he's comfortable with saying and letting people know his business. But now that he's on his own, I hope Lord.
By making his financial information public, Gervonta Davis has revealed his earnings from fights, something Floyd Mayweather had previously kept confidential. By making this decision, Davis hopes to demonstrate his independence and openness, which goes against boxing conventions that typically keep financial things private.
a lot of you guys are talking about what Gervonta Tank Davis said, talking about him pricing himself out, saying that he won 150 M's for his rematch with Ryan Garcia. Y'all want to know what I think about that whole video? It looks like Gervonta is on the outskirts. Listen, man, where everything is happening, dude, all these fights are being made over there. It just looks like Gervonta is on the outskirts looking for the perfect op. But at the same time, talking about how big of a brand he is, how much of a product he is, how much he's worth, 150 M's. You know what I mean? I get all that. But here's the thing. What I've been trying to say, us as boxing fans, we're very satisfied with the product we're getting. We get a lot of crazy matchups. And I'm going to tell you this again. The money isn't in the superstar. It's in the matchups. Case in point, Devin Haney, a product by himself. Many people, it's proven that he's not a big pay-per-view star, right? But Devin versus Ryan Garcia is a big fight. Devin versus Teofimo Lopez is a big fight. You get what I'm saying?
Following their split, Gervonta Davis called Floyd Mayweather's treatment of him toxic, implying that Mayweather's activities had harmed his growth both personally and professionally. The word toxic connotes a detrimental setting that impeded Davis' development. Such descriptions have the power to shape public opinion and highlight the difficulties sportsmen encounter in maintaining professional relationships.
Like, I gotta do that.
A lot of people don't know that what Floyd do. He said.
So you feel like it was a sub? Like he was subbing you? Like, oh, like
he was going at me. He was going at me, and I knew for sure he was going at me. That's why I went at him. There's no reason for me to go at Floyd.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Cause I feel like y'all got, I would say love hate, but it's been like the last interview you showed them love. This week it was whatever. But is that sometimes like, you know, is it just like big bro, little bro seeing things different, or what is it to you?
No, Floyd don't never. He felt as though I'm at that point where as though I passed him, and I'm doing it at a young age. Wait, like when Floyd was 29, you'll see, bro.
Yeah.
That deal that I'm talking about.
Yeah. Oh, that's a part of the
deal. He don't know about that yet, but that's bigger than his deal.
Damn. Wow.
And I'm just releasing
it. Exclusive. That's exclusive. Bigger than Floyd deal?
Yeah.
Tank, no cap, nigga. That's a lot of bread.
Fans and media outlets conjectured about the root causes of Floyd Mayweather and Gervonta Davis's discord as their conflicts were more well known. According to Sean Porter's analysis of the scenario, the combination of personal accusations, the boxing community was enthralled by the intricate tale that resulted from financial conflicts and professional disagreements.
It's public knowledge that Tank and Mayweather have had issues. It's public knowledge that they're not in a contract anymore. And it's public knowledge that Tank has moved on and is trying to, for the sake of words, separate himself from the umbrella of being under Mayweather. But Mayweather was there. Mayweather was there. Why wasn't... No. It wasn't because you wasn't trying to take away from a moment. It was because you weren't sure what that moment was going to look like.
The quality of Gervonta Davis' opponents has been disputed by observers who speculate that his promotional organization may have purposefully chosen advantageous bouts. This strategy might prevent Davis from encountering more difficult opponents, which could impede his growth as a boxer. Critics contend that a fighter's validity and progress depend on his ability to overcome more difficult opponents.
Gervonta Tank Davis is one of the most overrated fighters in the sport of boxing right now, and not because of his skills, but because of his resume, and resume does matter. In my opinion, he's a victim of what I call Terrence Crawford syndrome, where you have a really bad promoter who only wants you to fight in promotion fighters who you know that they can 100% beat. If Tank Davis wants to be great, he's going to have to fight one of the other champions in the two divisions that he fights in, 135 pounds and 140 pounds. I'm going to list off all the champions in those divisions and tell you if I think he can beat them or not. So first we got the only other full champion in 135 pounds, Shakur Stevenson. If they fought, I think Tank has a good chance of maybe knocking him out in the later rounds. But if I had to bet my house on it, I would say Shakur Stevenson would beat him in a close decision, and it would end up probably being a boring fight. But I think Shakur has the skills to beat Tank Davis over a long 12-round fight. Now we have Subriel Matias, who's a scary Terminator-like fighter who gives up the early rounds to come on later and drown you in those later rounds. But he's very stiff, and he doesn't have very good footwork at all. I think Tank Davis will probably, box his face off for most of the 12 rounds. There might be some trouble in the late rounds, But if Tank can stay out of trouble, I think this is one of the few champions that he would beat, but I don't think he would fight him.
Coach Calvin Ford has been a pillar of Jant Davis's boxing journey since the beginning. He has been his mentor and trainer, and his constant direction has helped to mold Davis into the strong boxer he is today. Ford's influence goes beyond technical training to include discipline, strategy, and mental toughness.
Well-being as well as your boxing progress, who you have been invested with from the outset. Tank has been with Coach Calvin Ford since he was, I think 8 or 9, which is crazy. And the relationship that those two have is an enormous factor. Tank trusts Coach Calvin to give him the right advice, and that has been proven to be a good position, a good place to put your trust, because as of yet, he hasn't given any bad advice. He's very calm in the corner. He knows when to tell Tank to turn it up. He gives him understandable advice, and he gives him very simple advice in the corner.
According to Calvin Ford, their journey was insane, but now that his experience is finished and Tank is gone, this reflection points to a sense of closure or change in their working relationship. Ford's remarks could be a sign of changes in their dynamic or Davis's professional path. These kinds of changes are typical in sports, where changing conditions call for adjustments to training regimens and mentoring.
My journey's crazy. That's why I said this, yo, you can't write this, man. You cannot write this. My experience being gone, and all the stuff that I went through, preparing me for where I'm at today. You know, that Tank is older. He had the lessons, getting his lessons of what he got to do, take us the rest of the way. And this is his take us the rest of the way fight.
Despite his achievements, there are differing views on Tank Davis's place in the boxing world. Some critics contend that casual fans who may not completely understand the complexities of the sport overrate him. On the other hand, boxing purists who appreciate the breadth of his skill set think he is underappreciated. This contrast illustrates how subjective sports judgments are and how different standards are used to assess athletes. Fans and commentators are still debating Davis' career in great detail.
He said Tank,
he's still on the air?
He said Tank is...
Hey, yo, they did Max Kellerman dirty for real, but go ahead, bro.
He said Tank is overrated by people that don't know boxing, and he's underrated by people that do know boxing. And what he
That's buzz.
What he meant by that...
That's buzz. I agree with that.
What he meant by that is that if you don't know boxing, you don't know who's Tank.
Gervonta Davis has been disillusioned with boxing, calling it trash, and saying that he doesn't care about titles or honors anymore. This change of heart has caused him to think about leaving the ring sooner than he had planned. These feelings draw attention to the demands and difficulties faced by professional athletes, such as sustaining their zeal in the face of hardship.
So realistically, how much longer do you see yourself being a fighter? How many more years you think?
It depends. I got some people I want to get.
Like who?
I don't want to say their names, but...
Just say yes or no. Haney?
Yes.
Lomachenko?
Yes.
Teofimo?
Yes. Not really so much Teofimo.
Not so much.
Nah.
How come?
Cause it's like, I don't know. Just he ain't really like. I mean, if the fight like prevents itself, then yeah. But other than that,
it's not on your list.
Yeah, it's not on my. He's not.
Kambosos? No. Is there anyone I'm missing, or is that it?
Yeah, but I don't want to say his name.
Shakur?
Yeah.
That's another one.
Tank Davis recognizes at a relatively young age the value of mental health and the need to take a break to prioritize his health, even if it means quitting the sport he previously loved. This acknowledgement represents a growing awareness among sportsmen about the importance of mental health. Davis's candor regarding his difficulties can inspire others to put their health first and get help when they need it.
That's why I don't want to box no more. I want to do therapy, right? But I feel as though if I do therapy, it will lose the fire that I have inside me. I want everything out of me where so I don't never think about fighting again. I don't think about even getting angry, you know what I mean? Because I have 2 girls, 2 daughters. I'm wanting to be much softer, you know what I mean? Be more humble and things like that.
Shout out to Tank Davis saying that he's going to go to therapy because he wants to soften up for his daughters, and he wants to let go of the anger. And yes, although maybe the anger served him in his boxing career, it's not currently serving him now at the moment, being the father. So shout out for Tank Davis. That's a real man. A real man is willing to be gentle in a tough, cruel world, right? It doesn't take much for us to be angry in an angry world. It takes a lot of courage for us to soften up and shine our light, whereas we've been maybe in darkness our whole lives, or maybe our darkness got us to success, right? So like Tank Davis obviously became successful, put in the anger towards boxing, but now he's on this next level of life and stepping into his therapy era, which I love to see. So shout out to Tank Davis for stepping into your healing era. Let's go.
Thank you to everyone who saw this video.